and it's got to be full of cursed belts, and you'll be good to go. And speaking of good to go, we're good to go right now.
Yes, we'll get into the specifics of it as we go along here, but otherwise the object normally is the same. The king will give the instructions to our runners. They'll open the 3 chests in here to see how it will help them out. And we start off with an herb that'll heal some hit points. We've got a set of wings that works like the spell of return. And then there is the obligatory magic key to get out of the throne room. Now, it doesn't look like there are any spells to start here, but our runners are going to use the wings to hold on to that key. And a couple of our runners, Brian and Tristal, are going to head back into the throne room to save their game and then try using that key to see what treasures are beholden inside the Tangential Treasury. J-Man doing the same, opting not to save, though. A little bit of a risk there, as we have a fairy water, we've got some big bucks in the middle, we've got an herb, and lastly, we have a cursed belt. So there is the possibility of a treasure chest glitch grind, so that will make things go a little bit quicker once all the other things that need to be found are found. So we have a death on Allie's side as J-Man... Well, it's a bit of a bittersweet decision to open the treasuries. Now that he knows that information, he lost the access to that key, and holding on to keys, very important in Dragon Warrior Randomizer. As we now see the back of Tantagel, that is the Staff of Rain Cave, and Tristal going to reset and realize that holding on to that key is an ideal situation.
Absolutely. And another important thing about this race, I don't know if you said it, but there are some additional quirks that we need to talk about, and that is, well, you don't have Hurt More.
Yeah, there are a couple of different, there are specific quirks to this flag set, and just reading chat there for a moment, I'll respond to that momentarily. But yes, the additional side quirks to this particular week's format is Charlotte Castle, the home of the Dragon Lord. It is not only open right away, so you don't need to gather all those quest items, the Silver Harp, Staff of Rain, Stones of Sunlight, arrows, that all unnecessary here. Immediate access to Charlotte if you want it, and it's short Charlotte, so you'll go right into that 7th basement where the Dragon Lord is. So that'll potentially give you a chance to access these 7 treasure chests that are there fairly quickly. Hurt More, not allowed in this seed, so no quick level ups that way. You get the Spell of Heal prior to Heal More, so you can't look for that early Heal More. And then there's the whole Cursed Princess scenario here, where, as noted, you want to fill your inventory of everything that doesn't include torches, dragon scales, fighter's rings, wings, and fairy water. You want your inventory completely full so that when you rescue the princess and take her back to the castle, because your inventory's full, she obviously can't give you Gwaylen's love, so she has to take something. If she takes the cursed belt, that is your victorious notice. She'll say, "Oh, what a lovely corset," and you'll hear that infamous cursed music, or that little cursed ditty as you're used to hearing, that, and then that's the end of the game. Or you can also win by defeating the Dragon Lord. That's the traditional way, and if there was less access or less ability or less cumbersome ability to get a cursed belt, that might be the way that some of our runners would opt to go.
That is correct. As we see at level 3, everybody has you get hurt and stop spell, which is a bit of a block. And some good stuff at level 4. 13 HP, 10 magic. I didn't see the attack, or 8 agility, which is good too.
And 11 strength.
Why can't we have more of those levels when we do Randomizer?
Well, then the game would be too easy. We can't have that. But with the early spell of Hurt, it's allowing our runners to propel some of those earlier levels as the leveling, the experience to get to each level, that is standard in as you would see in the standard tournament form. It is the fast leveling, meaning it is 75% of what you would see in the old school Dragon Warrior that we knew and loathed grinding for hours and hours upon as youngsters. And even
Thankfully,
some of us
we have fast.
like me.
Yeah, but thankfully we have fast leveling going on.
Exactly. So none of that's randomized this time around, so it's a lot less chaotic than we saw last week, as J-Man, being a little adventurous and trying to go after a green dragon, realized that not a dent will be made and gets two-shot by the green dragon and sent back to start, just prior to seeing what that cave was.
So Crystal's in the treasury. Get some gold out of the treasury. Gets an herb. There's the cursed belt. So now Crystal's got his cursed belt.
Well, just one of a few that are needed is you'll have to fill that inventory with cursed belts in order to be able to, well, give it to the princess. So still early, but it is good to have that knowledge that the cursed belt is in there as an advantage can be taken. Something can be taken advantage of using, taking care of the memory that the game has. And I guess we can talk about that for a moment here as leveling up is going on. So, treasure chests respawn every time you go to the overworld map, but due to the programming limitations at the time the game was made, the game only tracks up to 8 treasure chests as opened. Every chest opened beyond that 8th chest can be taken over and over again. Usually it's done by taking at least 2 treasure chests from a cave, death warping back to Tangential Castle, as you wouldn't be going through the overworld to respawn. And then the 3 chests that are in the throne room, they're already marked as open, so you don't take them over and over again. And then you would open 3 of the chests in that treasury, hoping that by the 4th one, it is what you're looking for, whether it's gold to buy a bunch of various weapons and armory, as J-Man looking to do here, or, in this case, whether it's the cursed belt, so you can just keep taking cursed belts over and over and over again.
Yep, and I want to talk about the order. So normally the princess would take a torch if your inventory is full. What else would she take, and what you have to get rid of in your inventory before she will fall victim to the cursed belt?
Well, the 5 items that you want to avoid I guess I can go in some semblance of order. You've got the torch, you've got the fighter's ring, the dragon scale, the fairy water, and the wings. Those are all items that, in terms of value, are less than the cursed belt. The game tracks based on the value of the items, and items that cannot be sold aren't part of those factors. So, to make sure that you're not clogging it up with things like the Stones of Sunlight, the Silver Harp, those are out of play here. So the only items that you could have that would be worth a greater value than the cursed belt would be the death necklace, and then items that can't be taken, such as the fairy flutes. Those don't factor in. So Basp33 asking in chat, no worries. We understand this is new to a lot of people, and this is something that's new to the present version of Dragon Warrior Randomizer. So Cursed Princess, as an option instead of going and defeating the Dragon Lord, you know how when you go to rescue the princess, if your inventory's full, she'll take something from you? Well, what your goal is to attempt to do is when you return the princess to the castle, you want to have your inventory full of cursed belts so that she takes a cursed belt from you when she gives you Gwaelin's love. When that occurs, there'll be a rather entertaining line given by the princess. The little cursed music will play, and then you'll get and thus the tale comes to an end until the dragons return again. And that is how you can win fairly quickly.
And some good stuff to be had by all. Every while grinding, everybody's at level 5, with the exception of Tristal, who's at level 6. Now, while we were talking, Ali Grabrap found Swamp North, so he knows where the princess is.
Yeah, those are the key things that you need to know are where's the princess? Do you have keys? Because you need to be able to unlock the door that is holding said princess. Where can you get a bunch of cursed belts? Because it's not like it's something you can just buy at a shop. You have to find them somewhere. And are you strong enough to take out whatever is guarding the princess? And that last part of it is what our runners are primarily working on now, as they want to be able to get strong enough to defeat that guardian of the princess to be able to rescue her. So there's a lot of different factors that you're trying to take on and handle at the same time.
Right, and normally if they had hurt more and it was an Axe Knight, it'd be quick, it'd be easy. But because you don't have hurt more, you have to, finagle your way around it. Like, for example, if it was an Axe Knight, you put it to sleep, or you cast hurt 4 times at max, or at minimum 4 times.
Yeah, a lot of different, and you can see already, and this is an interesting strategy by Tristal. Every time Tristal death warps back to the castle, going into the treasury, knowing that a cursed belt is there in that upper left chest, and taking one more to add to the inventory each time.
It's a smart heads-up play by Tristal. And he's also earlier on had the experience lead. I don't know if he's got that now because he's busy doing this. But level 6 also gives you the heal spell, which helps out quite a lot. Now that puts heal more in play. So it makes fighting that spike monster in the swamp cave, a little more bearable. But once again, none of our racers have any weapons to speak of. No one even has an hand axe yet.
Nor a bamboo pole. Now, Tristal does have the experience lead, but it's only by 65 or so. So, I mean, it's a very negligible difference here 12 minutes into this seed.
Especially if you run into green dragons.
Yes, but none of our runners quite at the point to challenge something like a green dragon, although J-Man going to get a little information for us. So the guardian of the princess is the armored knight. Known by the Dragon Warrior Randomizer community as the AK-47, because as you can see, it hits as hard as one. So a little bit of information there for J-Man. And it doesn't seem to show any special abilities or anything, as those are randomized here in Dragon Warrior Randomizer. So in the vanilla version of the game, I believe it would have heal more and hurt more, but here, who knows? I'm pretty sure that just because the hero is not able to utilize the hurt more spell, I'm pretty sure that the enemies still can. And yes, our restreamer behind the scenes, one of the admins, and just one of the all-around awesome people here in the community, CD Improv, knowing that we do have access to the statistics, but we're not going to bring those up yet. Why spoil the fun? We want you to figure things out at home, just as if you were playing the seed as well. It's not like the game show Password, where they show the word right in front, and then whisper it to you with a little bell.
The password is cursed.
Ding. Yeah, no, none of that here. And yes, there's a question in chat about Three's Company, which is the flag set for next week. That is where you rescue the princess, take her to the Dragon Lord, and then accept the Dragon Lord's offer to share half the world.
Do we know what gender the Dragon Lord is? What pronouns they?
That's an excellent question.
Because in one way it could be Three's Company, but in other ways, it could be like that movie Threesome with Laura Flynn Boyle. Um, anyway, but that's beyond the point. Anyway, level 7 gives return for Tristal, who's got the lead. And Brian Williams has done a heads-up play and has picked up some clothing and is going to trade some of that in for a hand. Trade his, puny twig in for a hand axe.
The answer to that question, it's amazing how I was able to do research on that, but would be his. As when the second form of the Dragon Lord comes up, it says the Dragon Lord revealed his true self. But, yes, this is a good question from Angel FM, and this is actually something that I generally do. If you were playing as the princess, you would rescue Prince Guimond instead. So in that rare instance, it would be Cursed Prince %.
Makes a lot of sense to me.
But, since that's the exception rather than the rule, we just go with Cursed Princess %.
It doesn't look like the attack power is enough to persuade Brian Williams from just using his hand axe.
Oh, but there is Hurt More from the Wraith, and that is going to send Brian back.
And that answers the question people are asking, do other monsters have Hurt More? And now we know the answer. Tristal MG finding a town in Swamp, and it is Garanum.
So able to buy some herbs and torches here, at least just getting a torch for the moment. Gonna head on over to the weapon shop. Perhaps trying to hold on to 1,800 gold in case there's a half plate and a large shield. There's not. Is gonna opt for the broadsword though to add 20 attack points to his total.
I think it's a heads-up play. He could also find Erdrick's armor in here.
Well, I mean, in terms of the randomization of the treasure chest, Erdrick's sword, I believe, Erdrick's sword or Erdrick's armor could be in a chest. So, given that the broadsword was purchased, the game being as trolly as it is, decided not to put Erdrick's sword in one of those 3 chests. But there is whatever is in the back of Garanham.
And it's the amount of gold that he spent on getting that broadsword.
Oh,
and finds Mountain Cave.
So that's access to 5 more treasure chests here for Tristal.
And sleep is not helpful at all.
Tristal opting to slash on through, but does get a little bit of information and some more big bucks there on the top of the mountain cave. 4 more chests on the second basement.
By the way, did we see a full plate in the shop at Garanum?
Yes, we did. And now, okay, Tristal was in a bit of a heal lock there, but was able to heal up enough and get hit not hard enough to be able to take out that Droll Magi for another 58 experience. And the experience lead's starting to grow here for Tristal, one of the savvy veterans here of the Dragon Warrior Randomizer community, maintaining about 125 experience lead, seconded by Ali Gerbrap.
And Tristol getting close to level 8, which could be a breakout if it has Heal More.
It'll definitely allow assistance with taking on some stronger enemies, and we've got the Fighter's Ring. So once that's put on, that'll add 2 additional attack points to the total.
And he's got to go back to Garenham and get rid of it.
Not necessarily. Well, there's another cursed belt.
Well,
and
it does.
Diabetes the second noting in chat that yes, there is the possibility of death warping back to Tantagel from here in the cave, and you have access to a cursed belt grind, an herb grind, as well as a gold grind, as there's a magic key in the last chest there. So will Tristal death warp, or is he going to keep on exploring here? I think he's looking to death warp.
And a ghost isn't going to do it.
Golem
No,
will,
do
though.
it. Golem will definitely do it. And by the way, Furon, I prefer the moss-covered, 3-handled family Gradunzel.
Oh, as far as locks there. All right, so it says broadsword, but that's because, well, there's a glitch there. So that was an herb, and there is the cursed belt grind. So going to fill up the inventory, get rid of anything that is not a cursed belt. Now, the herbs and magic keys are a separate part of the inventory, so those don't count. And now Tristal going to take advantage and just go wild on getting gold.
Yes, Breckenridge did have the silver shield, so that'll help out a lot. I think it also had a half-blade. I could be wrong on that.
There's definitely some options, and it looks like Brian Williams is going to follow suit here.
In Cursed Princess, this is what we call getting your homework done.
And I see we have a lot of pro wrestling fans, past and present, in chat, so they're they're definitely appreciative of the very in-depth references that are being provided. Ali Jerbrap now here in Rimmeldar, and finding some gold in the chest there.
Okay, here's J-Man going into Breckenridge. Yeah, the full plate was there, I do believe.
And Rimmeldar looks to have all the pricey goods, as it has the flame sword, the magic armor, and the silver shield. All the best equipment that money can buy.
And for what we're going for in Cursed Princess, that's actually a really good thing to have.
Brian having a little bit of menuing issue, as I know I've had challenges with that as well. And Brian Williams now full up on cursed belts, and has 18,000 and change in tow, and is going to save to try to hang on to all of that.
This is something you're going to see a lot of right now. He'll sacrifice some experience in order to keep what he's got. Will he get to Breckenridge before he runs into something a little dangerous? Hawk's Nest found by Ali Gerbrap, alongside, I believe that's going to be Cantlin. Or Cole.
Yeah, a couple of towns that we have not found as of yet.
But the Golden Man doesn't look like he's going to allow Ali Gerbrap to see those towns. Well, he actually pulled it off. Get some additional gold, gets the town. It is Cantlin. So there will be coordinates, I think, but it could also be dud coordinates. And a lot more expensive stuff in the first place of... Yeah, you understand what I'm talking about. There's Flame Sword, there's Magic Armor.
Yep, pricey goods there in the veritable shopping mall of Alefgard. And noting in chat, interesting choice by Tristle not to get the shield. I don't believe Tristle had enough money for the shield, as currently at 14,357. So is just 443 short and, has to take a reset.
Meanwhile, Allie is doing some exploration and finds the Jerk Cave.
I'm not sure if that was a... I'm not sure what the... I mean, that might be something to ask after the fact, was why stopping at 13.8? Was that just a misremembering of the cost of the Silver Shield, possibly?
I'd have to think so. Even though he did have enough to get some armor, which he's sorely lacking right now. He's lacking any defense.
True. In terms of armory, Tristle's on that Ray Stevens streak percent.
Meanwhile,
Boogity,
J-Man
indeed.
has taken the lead. Because J-Man has all of his homework done. He's got everything loaded up with curse spells. It's just a matter of grinding to get to where he feels comfortable in defeating that Armored Knight. Problem with all of our racers, though, as we mentioned earlier, no hurt more.
So grinding, not exactly easy peasy.
It's like squeezing lemons with your eye. J-Man is just walking all around this desert and all this swamp and lands an excellent hit.
And yes, noted in chat here that J-Man 1865 tonight is competing while suffering from the flu. So trying to channel his inner Michael Jordan from June of 97 and trying to see if he can, instead of scoring 38 points like Jordan did, scoring 5 with a first place win here.
And going back to Tristle, buys a Flame Sword, Full Plate, and Large Shield, so that's armor almost done. So the only one behind is Brian Williams, who, unfortunately, that reset, so where he could get everything back, has kind of worked. He does have the Full Plate and the Silver Shield. It's all a matter of, surviving and just getting those necessary levels. As we take a look at level 8, the HP, if you're running strength hit points, is 71. So if he gets to like level 10, it could get there.
There are some possibilities. Now, there are questions in chat as far as, are there situations whether it would be better or faster to finish the game as normal? Very rarely. I mean, what's being suggested in chat is if there were the 2 opening chests in the throne room were in fact cursed belts, and then the third of which was deep in Garen's grave. And if, let's say, even with that, you had access to Erdrick's sword and armor fairly early to be able to grind up more quickly, those are scenarios, extremely rare as they are, where it might be better to go the normal route of defeating the Dragon Lord. But I would say 98 times out of 100, maybe even 99 out of 100, it's easier to find a way to gather up the cursed belts and rescue the princess.
That is absolutely correct. J-Man was just in a swamp cave and doesn't think that 9 is enough. Not with his equipment.
I was waiting to see who would be the first to make a reference to the late 70s, early 80s sitcom, and Camion taking the cake with the 8 is enough reference. Well, if 8 wasn't, why would 9 be?
I don't know, it's just the 10 of us. At least somebody got just the 10 of us.
So Ali Gerbrap now navigating a cave, picking up a magic key. And I'm trying to see which cave it is based on the movements. So it's probably... I mean, I don't think we've seen Garen's grave as of yet. So I think that was the mountain cave.
That's the only... Yeah, Garen's grave is the only cave outstanding. And no radiant or torch, so it's done... Okay, top is ghost, so... Seeing the movements, yeah, this looks like mountain cave.
So to clarify, yeah, the chat having a lot of questions as far as the items that are needed. Yeah, you want to have your inventory completely full, and the items you want to exclude are the torch, the fighter's ring, the dragon scale, fairy water, and wings. So you don't want those in your inventory. You want all either cursed belts, or you can get away with holding the death necklace and or fairy flute as part of that full inventory.
It looks like Ali Gerbrap is doing his gold grind and belt grind.
Yep, leaving just those last 2 chests. Meanwhile, Tristal is moving up and down in the dark here. Perhaps looking for a death warp. And the slime not going to do it. Meanwhile, J-Man is in Hawksness. Maybe trying to see if there is an enemy to be able to take out here. And question from chat, have we seen the trap tile yet? In Hawksness, I don't believe we have. In the Swamp Cave, it is the Armored Knight. And it's the Axe Knight in Hawksness. Yeah, exactly. They have the same initials as chat noting AK. Yeah.
So possibilities
Axe Knight,
abound.
Armored Knight, Anna Kournikova, they all have the same letters.
That's true, but you wouldn't want to see the Axe Knight's overhand smash.
Definitely not. So J-Man falling to the Axe Knight and is gonna, I believe for the first time, nope, he's gonna head on and get some more key. No, okay, he's gonna head on to the back of Tantagel and will be a little disappointed to see that it's the Staff of Rain Cave that is irrelevant in this particular flag set. So Brian now.
So Aligerbrap almost close to Breckenary to get his stuff.
Oh, level 9, not very generous, although Empty Eye would love it. 0 power, 0 agility. So Ali upgrading to the hand axe, full plate, and silver shield.
That makes the Axe Knight he fought in Hawksnest a lot more feasible. Yeah, these Druid Lords are doing the business. Tristal is almost there as well. I think level 11 or level 12 will be enough.
Well, it is hard to say, as we don't know what stat gains are necessarily coming. You see the statistics on the screen there. There's a lot of white that's still there. Although, again, we're not necessarily looking to defeat the Dragon Lord. We're just looking to, in this case, be strong enough to take out the Armored Knight.
That is true, but I think if you have Heal More, I think it would be enough with Tristal's stats right now.
Yeah, Heal More is ultimately going to be... It's almost like with the Dragon Lord, where Heal More is, for all intents and purposes, required to take out an enemy with the attack power that they have at the caliber of an Armored Knight. You're going to want Heal More. It's just... I mean, you could get a lucky crit, as Guelph noting in chat, but that's not likely.
However, Tristal is almost close to 2175, which will get him level 11.
Yeah, at this point, looking at Tristal's statistics, having 70 defense, that is pretty good as far as handling the Armored Knight. Obviously, it's still going to take a good amount of damage, but you're pretty much at that level looking at a damage range of 17 to 35 that you'd be taking. So that's quite a bit, although that nice little HP boost there.
New spell, but not Heal More, and you're getting there. 43 south, 20 east is our coordinate.
I'm not sure how windy that is, or whether that's something that could be a straight walk.
No, you gotta go around.
A long and winding road, so... I don't know, I figure at that point, if you're rescuing the princess anyway, you're not going to use her to get the coordinates, so... I mean, while you maybe hope for something where it's 4 south and 2 east... Exactly. By the time you get the princess who can give you that GPS, the Gwaelin or Guimond positioning system, you pretty much will already have the Cursed Belts and Will of Wands, so... Yeah, the only reason you'd want to go in there is to hope for something really short, really countable, to maybe find an Erdrick's Sword, Erdrick's Armor, something of that ilk, I'd say.
Yep, and Tristle's got the experience lead back. Has got the 101 HP, 87 attack power. You think you could damage race it down?
Well, with 101 HP, let me crunching the numbers here. So you'd be taking 17 to 34 damage, so theoretically you could at max be wiped out in 3, maybe 4 shots. You, as the attacker in Tristle's case, with 87 attack, would be doing a range of 11 to 22 on the Armored Knight, and it has up to 99 HP. So on average, you're going 6 rounds. Without Heal More, I would say at this point, it is still you would need a crit to be able to take out the Armored Knight.
Alright, and it does look like Tristle's just grinding levels right now off of Druid Lords and Magic Wyverns.
And those, at this stage, are pretty good enemies to be able to take on. And another question, are they able to be taken in are the Cursed Belts able to be taken in a kind of rapid-fire fashion that doesn't use the treasure chest glitch? And yes, that is the case. In fact, I think we saw was it this seed, or was it a seed that I played earlier, that the Vanilla Stones of Sunlight Cave had a Cursed Belt where you could just take it over and over again?
I don't know, but I remember a seed that I played had the same thing that you're talking about, really close to home. So what I did was, just grab a lot of Cursed Belts and was able to purchase equipment that way. This was on a regular Dragon Warrior Rando race seed, and not Cursed Princess seed. But the sentiment still stands.
Indeed, it does. And we have a question from chat. Are all spells still gained by 16? Yes, that is still the standard as far as randomization, with 2 caveats. Heal must be learned before Heal More, and in this flag set, you cannot learn Hurt More. But otherwise, the 9 other spells you can learn between levels 1 through 16, but you will get Heal before Heal More. So no early Heal More in this case, and that's why even at level 11, Heal More has not yet been acquired by any of our runners.
And this is interesting. Going against an Axe Knight, Ali Gerbrap is.
Yeah, I mean, with the hand axe, it's certainly a brazen move, but I don't know if I was gonna try an herb, but I think you're gonna be in a heal lock here. Yeah. Although getting a decent roll there, and a low roll maybe, but another 6. Yeah, you're relying on the crit at this point. Just 64 attack power. Oh, and it has DL2 breath.
25% DL2 breath, it looks like.
Yeah, kind of kept that hidden for quite a while. But yeah, based on that attack range, you'd have to go 9, maybe 10 rounds with the Axe Knight at that 64 attack power. The hand axe just not going to be enough to get it done at level 9.
Meanwhile, Tristle's at level 12. Still grinding, it looks like.
Yep, Heal More not learned, but Outside was learned at level 12.
So thankfully, Tristle will only have to defeat the Armored Knight once and not twice.
Once he's at that stage, but now with 91, I'm just going to crunch the new numbers here. So the defense is 73. You're basically in that same range of 17 to 34 that the Armored Knight will hit you. But now, with that little bit of an increase, you're looking at 12 to 24, so it's still going to be 6 rounds. So nope, 12 is not going to be the level.
Yeah, this is all dependent on getting Heal More.
As almost all seeds are.
And it would be 4250. No, wait, 4175 or no, wait, 4125 gets you 13.
Correct. That is the target number to level 13. So at this point, a little over 750 needed by Tristle to get to that point. J-Man is
true.
back in Rimmildar, meanwhile, as is Brian Williams. They're going to have a virtual high five in the key shop.
So, while we're watching everybody grinding and just getting some homework done, why don't you give all these races a follow? Give Ali Gabrap a follow, Brian Williams 42 a follow, J-Man 1865 a follow, and Tristle MTG a follow in their respective Twitch streams. They're doing a lot of Dragon Warrior stuff, a lot of great stuff as well. And also give our restreamer CD Improv a follow on Twitch. Our trackers Kamion Renokai and CyberDark86. And give Furron and myself a follow as well, as we do a lot more stuff than call Dragon Warrior Randomizer races, but we'd love to do this more than anything else, don't we, Furron?
You betcha. So J-Man back into Hawksness. As Ali Gerbrap heading west from Tangential Castle. Trailing a little bit in terms of experience. Still looking to get to level 10, which the target number for that is 1500. So about 144, now 130 away.
He's going to give this Axe Knight another go. Or he was going to give it another go until he decided to do a Fire Breath first shot. Now, this is interesting. Brian Williams has just found Sherlock, so he can go in and maybe find the armor or Erdrick's sword.
Well, that certainly could help, as in the case of the armor, you're looking at a defense edition of just 4, but there are a lot of other perks and quirks to the Erdrick's armor. Although finding Erdrick's sword in here would be huge for Brian, as that would be a 25-point attack power increase. And yes, Lorgon, in this particular this flag set, I should say, Sherlock is both short and open. Alright, so we have a torch. We have another torch. There's a dragon scale. There's an herb. There's the death necklace, so that's one that can fill up the inventory, but opting not to get it is Brian. And there is Erdrick's sword.
And he gets it dodged.
Meanwhile, J-Man has found Garen's grave. And we've got up top some big bucks out of the 5 chests, some more big bucks, and a magic key.
And it turns out looks like some wings were in the bottom of the castle. So no harm, no foul, doesn't take him, and decides to warp back to Canton.
That will also help with the offense for Brian, as that puts the attack power up to 97 for him. And a question in chat, while the Cursed Belts, welcome on in. So this particular flag set this week is Cursed Princess. So the way it works is you want to fill your inventory with Cursed Belts so that it is the least expensive item that the princess takes, when she goes to give you her Gwaelin's love after you've rescued her and brought her to the castle. She'll take the cursed belt. She'll say, "Oh, what a lovely corset. Put it on, get cursed, and you win." Now, in lieu of that, there is also the traditional way of building up all the levels and equipment and everything to defeat the Dragon Lord. That is an alternate route to victory.
Brian Williams is going for it.
With the 97 and no heal more, hoping to outdamage it. Has one more swing to go. And it will not be enough. (13 to 27 range could go 5 rounds with it.
But Tristal did it.
Tristal was able to do it at level 13. So Tristal is going to be the first to rescue Princess Gwaelin. And with outside and return, I'll have to check the inventory, but I believe it is going to be academic here. Although there is a cursed belt in the throne room, should Tristal have had something amiss in the interim. But Tristal is confident in the inventory. Here is...
And Brian Williams just did it.
And there's the cursed belt. So Tristal is going to be our first place finisher here in this race and is going to win with an official SRL time of 51 minutes and 46 seconds.
And Brian Williams will not be that far behind.
So a huge 5 points for Tristal here. Now, also of note, this is this week 3 is the positional round. So this particular group here, this is group 3. So at the moment, all 4 of these runners currently in position to make the playoffs, the top 16. So they're kind of jockeying for position of seeding at this point. And with that, Brian Williams is going to take a very close second, just a little over a minute behind. Get out your GGs for Brian Williams, 42, who is going to take second place, get 3 points with an official SRL time of 52 minutes and 48 seconds, just 62 seconds behind Tristal.
Ace running done by both Brian Williams and Tristal's. That Tristal's big experience advantage earlier on nudged him enough to take first place.
And there's a question in chat as far as the seeding and everything. Yes, this goes on for 5 weeks. The positional rounds are weeks 3 and 5. So for this week, this Cursed Princess week, you'll see the top 4 runners face off against one another. Positions 5 through 8 against one another. This is 9 through 12 currently, etc., all the way down.
And joining us right now are the racers that just finished, Tristal MTG and Brian Williams. Congratulations, you two, on a well-raced race.
Thank you. Yeah, that was pretty close. GG.
Yeah, GG. Good race.
What were both of you thinking going through your heads? You had over 100 health each going into your Armored Knight fight. Differences between Brian, you had you found Erdrick's sword in Charlotte Castle, and Tristal, you had the flame sword and other, but you also had some more HP. What was going through your mind seeing that Armored Knight and knowing it was just a vanilla Armored Knight?
Yeah, so I did have that reconnaissance knowing it was an AK kind of early on and figuring it didn't really have anything. So I couldn't just use stop spell to cheese it. So I knew without hurt more, it was just going to be a factor of how much attack power can I amass, can I get heal more, can I get outside, which is almost equally important. And so that was sort of my entire game plan, was just as soon as I had the pieces lined up, just grind as much as I thought I needed to and then get it done.
Now, a curious question that I have for Tristal, I'd noticed that as far as the gold grind, you'd stopped around 13,800. Was that a miscalculation as far as the cost of the silver shield, or was there some other combination that you were looking for in terms of purchasing for weapons and armory?
No, fully planned. I had seen Garanham had flame sword, full plate, and large shield, so I got exactly that much. I did, I guess, kind of overcompensate because I had a broadsword, so I knew I could have sold that for 750. But I mean, that's a pretty small detail. But I hadn't seen Silver Shield. Garanham was the only town I ever found.
Okay.
So yeah, just went for it. I figured Flame Sword, full plate, and large shield was going to be pretty solid. So that's all I really went for.
Yeah, just the fact that it happened to be pretty much exactly 1,000 under the cost of the silver shield. It was. I had a feeling that it was a combination of other items, but the fact that it was that close was, and I think Chad had also wondered, what was going on with that. So that was. I jotted it down here to at least ask, but that makes sense. That the 9,800 for the flame sword, 3,000 that puts you up to 12,800, and then 800, so it'd be 13,600. So that makes a whole lot of sense.
And it looks like Gallagher tried to go after the Armor Knight, unfortunately didn't pull it off.
So certainly good to help your standings here as this positional round. It's kind of a battle for seeding, at least where you are currently placed in that 9 to 12 range. Now this it shakes things up, and we'll see how things go with Three's Company next week, and then the final positional round. But the respective 5 and 3 points certainly good for both of your standings here as far as making the top 16.
Yeah, I'll take a second place in this group. I'm very curious how many attempts that the Armored Knight pistol had to take. I know that was my second try, and I think I just got a high HP Armored Knight the first time, which was a little sad. But yeah, must have been a good show for people watching.
I got it in 1, but I was 2 levels higher than you were. I still didn't have heal more, but I checked my max HP and I was like, well, we can probably get this done. Plus, knowing outside sort of clinched it. Knowing that I only had to fight the AK once was not going to be a problem.
Yeah, I never found Garanham. Actually, yeah, I only had the hand axe from Breckenary, and so I went on a desperate search for the sword, and I found it luckily, and then it was time to go. But yeah, it was a close call, that fight. I was worried.
I was too. It was down to my last hit. Like I could totally imagine AK-47 just getting the case dodge at the very last hit and ruining what would otherwise be a perfect kill. Garanham was like 3 or 4 screens south of South Swamp. I had gotten out of South Swamp. I went to the cave that's right next to it, saw the gold chest, no big deal. And then just kind of picked a direction and went south for as far as I could go, saw a town. It was Garanham, which was cool because there's, chests there and all sorts of other stuff, a good shop. So it really, between Garanham's solid shop and the awesome grind spots that were in this seed, I just felt like the best plan was just go grind, try and get enough spells or whatever to kill AK and just win.
And on that note,
you found a lovely spot that had a bunch of, I believe it was Magiwyverns and Druid Lords, I think.
Magiwyverns, Druid Lords, and Droll Magi, and then Warlocks too. Like nothing that was actually lethal. Stuff I could run away from in a pinch if I had to. I mean, it was really perfect.
I'm sorry, Stigma. Go right ahead. That was a follow-up question that I was inquiring about. But go on here.
J-Man is making his attempt at the Armor Knight after Ali Grabrap failed. And Ali Grabrap finds coal. So what was in this search spot was nothing. So Cole had nothing. The storefront, not relevant to anybody's standards. And Ali Gabrap is strength agility build might have better defense at 87 compared to J-Man's 82, but it's not going to work. But J-Man unfortunately gets snuck attack by the Armor Knight and is in a big disadvantage right now.
Yeah, that's definitely something that can go very wrong, sort of akin to DL2 ambushing you.
So now that we've had 2 people finish and we've had both Ali Gabrap and J-Man fall victim to the Armor Knight, can we take a look at the Armor Knight stats, please? If that's okay with our... Yeah, we're allowed to show them right now.
Production
So
crew here, yeah.
If there's any ability we haven't seen yet, that would be quite the randomness.
No, looks like it's just punch you hard. Pretty standard.
I mean, I wouldn't even say a full fight Armored Knight is really that tame. It still hits like a truck.
There's a reason this community nicknames it an AK-47.
Yeah, the damage range is pretty big. You could get hit for probably something between, at this point, like 20 and 40. So battle could go your way if they come up low or go south real fast.
that is absolutely true. So that's why J-Man is going to do a little bit more leveling, probably get to around 12 or 13.
Well, Brian, I'm crunching the numbers here. So with where you were at, looks like it was around 15 to 31, 16 to 32, somewhere around there. That with your 82 defense points. So it wasn't as strong, but it can hit for quite a bit.
Yeah. I mean, I think the Silver Shield maybe buys you an extra attack compared to maybe Large Shield. So hopefully, that's probably what got me through at lower level.
Yeah, that would certainly affect the range at least a little bit.
Every little bit counts.
It most certainly does.
So it looks like J-Man is almost on the right path to finding Sherlock Castle, which helped break things open for, or he's going to fight the Axe Knight, maybe find Erdrick's armor in this spot.
Well, as far as these specific items, we do know that there are coordinates and they do lead to something. And we already found Erdrick's sword and the Death Necklace. So, unless there's something that I'm missing, I have a strange hunch that Hawksness may be guarding nothing, and the Overworld spot is going to have the armor. Now, J-Man hopefully will get through here and prove my theory one way or the other.
Yeah, but the problem is that Axe Knight does have DL2.
Yeah, there is that. So without heal more and not being able to... Oh, yep, there it is. And you're not going to three-shot it at this point here, and there's another fire, and down goes J-Man. Oh, there is the flute. There is a good point to that, Valevi. I knew I was forgetting something.
Yep, and so now J-Man's just thinking, what should I do? Should I just go fight the Armor Knight and level up to 12? Because of the Axe Knight is worse than the Armor Knight thanks to DL2 Breath, and the armor still being outstanding.
Saying here that the 3-shot was definitely in play. I mean, by calculation here, 85 attack power on an Axe Knight. You're looking 11 to 22. If you max rolled all 3 attacks, then you could potentially 3-shot it, but it's highly unlikely. So the first 2 were 20, 20, and 21. Yeah, okay. So with those higher attacks, it was certainly possible, but it also depended on how low or high the Axe Knight rolled, as it has a range of 51 to 67. So, yeah, 17 wasn't by any means a
Ali
low
Grabrap
swing.
did it. Ali Grabrap just took out the Armor Knight, got a good critical.
Gotta love those nice crits.
Yeah, my heart was pounding as soon as I hit like level 8, knowing that that sort of thing would be possible and anybody could snipe this race.
It's a bad hole to get into hunting for crits though. You think you're gonna get one and you can do battle after battle and just come up short. It's a good money after bad situation after a couple tries. GG on that finish. It worked out.
Epic fashion too. So there is the cursed belt, just to make sure the inventory was good. And Ali Gerbrap is going to... There we go. So Ali Gerbrap is going to finish with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 6 minutes, and 28 seconds. There was a little bit of, I guess, a misinterpretation of when to hit the dot done. So there was a 13-second differential, but the official ending time, 66 minutes and 28 seconds.
So that's Tristal getting 5 points. Brian Williams will get 3 points. Ali Grabrap will take 2 points. And J-Man will get 4th place and 1 point. Hopefully, we can get Ali Grabrap in, and we could pick his brain on how the twists and turns of that seed went for him.
Indeed. So J-Man now at level 12, looking to see if that's going to be enough here.
And joining us now is Ali Grabrap. Ali Grabrap, congratulations. A little tough one there, but you managed to pull it out in fine critical form.
Yeah, I made a lot of mistakes today. Like the first thing, I should have grinded for more gold just to have enough for the flame sword, and I miscounted, and I was in a deep hole just because of that, and I didn't think it was good to grind your gold after that. I thought about doing it, but it was a bad idea.
But hey, it all worked out.
I wonder what level did the other runners finish at?
Tristal finished at 13 with flame sword, large shield, and full plate. Brian Williams finished at 11, but he had Erdrick's sword, full plate, and silver shield. So he had a big...
Oh yeah, I mean with a broadsword, it's not as I was fishing for a critical pretty much. That was my main hope, and first hit critical, I figured okay, let's go, and I knew that with my agility I wouldn't have that much trouble to run away. Oh yeah, and I knew I didn't have that much trouble to run away on my first try, so I was less worried on my second try to just go and hope for the crit.
Good point, as you were the only one of the 4 runners who went with a strength agility build instead of a strength HP build.
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking a lot about this, and the reason why I thought agility was mainly because I wanted to explore more, and I felt it's pretty much your goal is to win one fight, and I felt, and also exploring more, so I felt it was a better solution to use an agility.
Yeah, I agree. As soon as I finished the race and went over to Randomania and saw your strength agility, it just clicked in my head like, oh my god, why didn't I think of this? It's such a brilliant idea. Because you're not really worried about, having to deal with DL2 fire even necessarily and worrying about that 97 HP threshold. So yeah, I really like this plan a lot.
J-Man had to deal with it a little bit, having gone into Hawksness on 2 different occasions and finding an Axe Knight that had the DL2 breath. My guess is J-Man was hunting for either Erdrick's sword or Erdrick's armor to try to make this battle with the Armored Knight a little bit easier, but 'twas not to be.
What was the sword?
Sharlock.
The
was
sword
the
was
last-
in the 300 chest in
Yeah.
Sherlock for the old.
I was
premium.
opening and opening and opening. I was like, please be something. And finally, the 300 paid off.
Where was Zarok? I've never seen it. I didn't care much. I didn't find coal. Like, it was...
Cole had nothing.
Sharlock was in the far reaches of the second island. It was a long walk. I mean, I never found the closer places like Garenham, but at least there was something to make all that walk pay off.
So J-Man looks to be grinding in the cave at the moment. Trying to get up to the 4125 experience threshold, perhaps to get level 13, and get a pretty decent HP boost to be able to give it one more go here.
Yeah,
Plus
J-Man,
3
especially with the
strength.
equipment he's got, should feel fully confident in 13, even though 13 isn't like a huge bump over 12. But just, looking at a status screen and seeing the 112 HP, yeah, you should feel ready to go.
It's that mind trick thing. It's like seeing something on sale for $4.99 instead of $5. It plays with your mind a little bit. It's like, all right, well, it's a 3 HP difference, 112 versus 109, but it's that comfort factor that comes with it.
Yeah, I mean, there's a reason I grinded out 13 just to try. You might just come to the same conclusion I did, even without Heal More, that it's probably enough.
Yeah, everyone's going to be in for some pretty interesting races because that is not a DL2 fight, but when you can't get hurt more, there's so many ways you're thinking about how are you going to pull this off? Can you do it with heal? Can you do it with heal more? Can you do it with or without outside? Do you have to fight it twice? Can you run for the second one? There's like so many options on how to make it work, and there's not going to be just one path that everyone follows in all these races.
Yeah, this is my first time racing with the no hurt more flag, and I thought it was actually super interesting, the way it changed your decisions. Part of the reason I thought grinding on Druin Lords and Droll Magi was good enough was because I knew there wouldn't be hurt more. It's not like somebody would magically get hurt more and then go grind at Hawksness or something, because that's just not a thing. So getting the grind on at 58 XP at a time, I thought, was probably about the best you could hope for.
And then after a couple of levels, finding the Magi Wyvern in the mix as well, and then getting 83s mixed in with those 58s just made it all the better.
Yeah, I never quite defense broke Magic Wyverns. J-Man might be. He's got something like, 15 more defense than I do, so...
Yeah, he's at 83 at the moment, so yes, and now is going to give a go, and gets back attacked by the Armored Knight to start off with.
Ugh.
So there's 22, and 16, we're up to 38. Probably has 2 more attacks left. 57, last attack. No, 76 is not going to be enough. It was that back attack that did it.
Yeah, the good news is here, if you get back attacked, it's not 8 more minutes to go dive down Charlock to get back to DL2. This is a pretty quick 2-minute walk.
Yeah, it's not that bad. But full credit to J-Man, he will finish this seed.
I think everyone takes different walks in the dark in Swamp. It's not an easy walk. You can't get lost, but you can get kind of stuck. So everyone has their path that they feel comfortable with to try to find their way to that spike spot.
Yeah, I fully admit I do not have great walking in the dark skills in Swamp Cave, other than the obvious path, trying to get to the princess specifically without having a torch, and we don't have the radiant spell. Was sort of an interesting adventure. I don't know if you guys were using my game audio, but you got your bonk quota in for sure.
Yeah, that was also complicated for myself. I'm not sure really how to get there. I got some ideas, and the map open just in case to know where I need to go, because I honestly don't know how really to like navigate this part usually, because usually you'll use a torch or radiant, and we didn't really want to have those things in our hands, in our inventory, because we wanted to make sure we had our full complement of curse belts to make sure that we can finish once we kill the armor knight in this case.
And we got breaking news, ladies and gentlemen. J-Man did beat the armor knight. He's gonna rescue the princess, give her the corset, and I'll wrap things up at around 1 hour 17 minutes.
That'll just about do. Of course, one NPC just kind of trolling, being in the way, as they tend to do. And a last check of the inventory to make sure. Gonna speak to the king. Waylon's gonna give the love. Get the corset. And J-Man is going to finish here with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 17 minutes, and 14 seconds.
Not bad at all.
And I have a feeling, having played a couple of these, it very well could go one way, or probably give or take about an hour to an hour and 10 minutes with a little bit of leeway. I mean, we saw almost a 50-minute in one end, and then a little closer to 80. So I feel like that 65-minute range, that might be around the average. And having played a couple of these, that sounds pretty par for the course, all things considered. So we're going to have a brief interview with J-Man. He's going to make his way in here shortly, as we do know that he's a bit under the weather, fighting the flu, that sort of thing.
Hey guys, thanks for hosting the run.
Oh, not a problem at all. So a little bit of troubles with the Axe Knight heading over to Hawksness. What was I guess looking to see? What were you looking for in terms of going to Hawksness in your exploration?
I was just hoping I could maybe get some quick grinding in there, but then with the DL2 route, that was really not helping. And getting
We weren't sure if it was a grind thing, or
help.
maybe looking for a Erdrick's piece of equipment, whether it be the armor or the sword, to help with taking on the Guardian in the Swamp Cave, or maybe a little bit of both.
Yeah, no doubt. And like I say, getting back attacked the first 2 times I tried the Axe Knight, or the Armored Knight, that didn't help me finish up quickly.
Well, I'm sure not feeling 100% didn't exactly help, but I know that the schedules, when you're trying to work with 4 different people's lives, different people's schedules, it's not easy to get everything together in an ideal, perfect fashion for everybody. But it is appreciated, the effort, to say the least, a gallant effort on your part.
No worry. Thanks for streaming and commentating, doing all your fun. Thanks.
Oh, not a problem.
No
So
problem, J-Man.
we'll let you go here, get some hot tea, and relax as best you can here. Work on recuperating sooner rather than later, and we'll look forward to seeing you next week for the Three's Company round of the league here.
Yep, hopefully next week will be a good bounce back week. Thanks again.
Oh, not a problem.
No problem. So I've been wondering, when are we gonna have different strokes flags set up?
What you talking about, Sigma?
Well, I mean, no hurt more would be a good idea for different strokes for different folks. I mean, maybe start out with the heal spell. I mean, I think we've
we'll
run
talk
out
to the
of things
creator
to say.
McGrew. We'll have to see here if we can get the whole 70s lineup in some sort of form. Maybe that'll be for the 2021 league. We'll see how that plays out. But that's going to just about wrap it up for us here. Any final thoughts here from our remaining competitors in the room here? Brian, Ali, Jerbrap, Tristel?
Get ready for a really interesting week and next week too. But this one's going to be a fun one. There's going to be a lot of very tense fights. I think it'll be a good watch.
Yeah, thank you for tracking Camion, and I think it was who else was there? I forgot who it was, and Sigma and Ferron for commenting, and CD and Prof for streaming at the last minute. And like, thanks to all the racers to like we're able to like get this race done quickly. So thanks to everyone.
Yeah, I'll echo those thoughts as well. Thank you so much for everybody for being able to put this on relatively short notice. As for the flags themselves, I actually really think No Hurt More is about the most fascinating flag that I've seen in DWR in a really long time, and I'm curious to see if will get used in the future and or maybe have analogs in other randomizers. The No Nuke flag in FFR sounds pretty fascinating to me.
Ooh. Yeah, that does open the door for some possibilities, and then some. Well,
Yeah,
thank
it
you
does.
so much here, everyone, for tuning into Randomania. Make sure to show some love to all the folks behind the scenes, as well as our runners here. And we're going to send things on over to the RPG Valkyries. There's currently the RPGs We Love marathon going on. And currently, Octopath Traveler being played by Velociraptor 42. For everyone here at Randomania, I'm Ferran Burgundy saying until next time, may your moves be excellent and your seeds stay classy. Good night, everyone.
Rando.